Welcome, everybody. This is the Bird's Eye View. I'm here with Mr. Krow,
Hello, everybody. Great to
and
see you.
I'm the Word Duck. See, I switched that up on you. I caught you off guard, huh?
Yeah, you did.
All
Got to
right.
be on your toes.
So, I guess continue on with this week. We're kind of veteran heavy this week. We did the Marine one the other day, and this one I came across another article. Me being a veteran, this kind of stuff I always end up paying attention to. So, homeless veterans prepare for move onto VA grounds in West Los Angeles. And Mr. Krow and I were kind of discussing this a little bit, and so so you asked me why.
Yeah, I really don't understand. Like, what is going on now? Why are they having to move? What has brought this to? Well, why is this news now? I
All
mean,
right,
like, what is going on? Like,
so
I didn't follow it fully.
so there's 66,000 people without housing in Los Angeles County.
In just LA alone.
Just the
Wow.
county alone.
Okay, while you're going to be
60
talking, I'm going to look up how big LA County is.
66,000 people.
66, okay.
I grew up in a town with like 90,000 people. So this is like more than half the population of the town that I grew up with.
Okay,
So
so I
the thing
looked up
is
real
there's
quick.
uh
I looked up Los Angeles County is 4,753 miles squared.
okay.
So it's not huge to have its population. That's pretty big. Okay. Or I mean that's pretty small compared.
So in that there was 3,900 homeless veterans.
1,000, okay.
And so the thing is they like the veterans kind of started a veterans encampment. They called it
Okay.
Veterans Row or something.
Okay.
But so there was some murders and there was some beatings and some stuff of homeless veterans. And people started asking some questions. And those questions got harder and bigger about why aren't you doing anything and why is this a thing? Why are people that serve this country honorably living on the street and not getting the help they need?
Help. Yeah.
So what they're going to do is they're going to move them onto the veterans hospital grounds.
Okay.
Onto the VA grounds, which is normal. Like I don't never been to that one, but the one here in Tucson is gated and has guard posted at it.
Interesting. Okay.
So they could be in a safe area where they are right next to treatment. If anybody is seeking health treatment from the VA, they're right there.
Nice.
And they are putting them inside. They're not just be living in tents and stuff.
Oh, great.
So
Okay.
at least that's what
That's what you understood it too.
the way I understood it is they were putting them into like barrack style housing or apartment
I
style
think that
housing or something like that.
Yeah, I think that works. That seems a little bit safer, seems better, a little bit more cleanly too. Okay.
Um
So there was one thing that I read in here though, and I might have because I glanced over it. They were saying that they were left with a bin outside of their tent and like a piece of paper or something that basically they needed to pack up their stuff into this bin and write down the things that's in it and who it belonged to, and they were moving. Like, so are people coming in and helping them move? Is it the volunteers? Is it what's
uh
they,
that I don't know. I don't
okay.
know who. I imagine in like it's got to be volunteers for the VA. Um but I don't know that it.
This seems like at least from what you've told and from what I've been reading though, and now understanding a little bit of the background of it, this seems to be a good thing. It sounds like it's a positive thing. They're moving them closer to help. They're moving them to a safer place because there has been they were talking about there's been a couple murders, like two people had died because of the what was going on around this. So they're moving them closer to help.
Right. So I don't know who's doing it, but they're having a U-Haul arrive to pick up all the bins.
Okay.
And take him to the campus. They set up says this guy set up 20 tents on the VA campus, including new cots, blankets, towels,
Nice.
for those moving from Veterans Row. And here's the thing that this is like so being homeless is more than just not having a place to live. It's not having any security or anything or anybody to step in for you.
Yeah.
And this guy, he says Johnson rode his bike along the tents, popping his head in to check with some of the veterans. He's passed more than a dozen flags and flew signs notifying everyone of the scheduled cleanup. To those along the line, Johnson is considered a protector. He often stays up at night to make sure everybody's safe. So this is just a homeless guy on there.
Nice. Okay.
Now, this is the
Good
thing.
tries.
Now, this site was connected to 2 homicides in 6 months this year. In April, Pedro Flores, 34, was arrested on suspicion of murder and assault with a deadly weapon after he ran over a person living in the encampment, allegedly
Damn.
dragging the man's body 200 yards under his vehicle.
Jeez.
In September, the encampment was the site of a stabbing that killed an unhoused male veteran. So this is the added, like, so these guys, I don't want to say most. Some of these guys have post-traumatic stress that it's so bad that they can't function in normal life. And they end up homeless. They can't keep a job or something like that, or can't concentrate or whatever. And they end up in a place like this.
And it's not a safe place for them.
Then you have to fight for food. You have to fight for space. You have to fight for all that. And then you have on top of that the stress of somebody can come in and just hurt you, and there's nothing to protect you. No walls, no door, no nothing, just a tent.
Yeah.
And that's stress on top of stress, and that's just not fair. It's not fair for these guys that serve their country that I don't want to say can't get help, because I think that sends the wrong message. I think it's have yet to decide to go get the help they need. Because having worked in a post-traumatic stress clinic and being a veteran and using the VA resources, you can get help if you try. But if you don't want to try, then the help's not going to come to you. They're not going to just scoop you up and get the help.
No.
But one of the things this guy said, this guy, he started serving. He enlisted when he was 18.
Okay.
He graduated from high school on Wednesday and was in the Marines by Friday.
Oh, dang.
Motivated by the events of 9/11.
Okay.
His quote: "I bleed red, white, and blue. I love this country." He expressed frustration at the length of time it took for veterans to get help. And here you go. It says he also questions the misconceptions community members have about unhoused. We just got dealt the wrong hand, he says.
I think that's a big thing, is everybody has their understanding and our concept and idea of what a homeless person is.
Yeah.
You know, they're full of, it's not positive, but we definitely haven't walked in their shoes.
And it looks like this is a picture of the campus where they set up. Nice, orderly, got some flags. People got their own kind of tents and stuff on a safe location where they're not gonna have to worry about getting run over or somebody random coming in and stabbing somebody. You know,
Yeah.
I so and you're right. Like that's kind of the whole thing is if you ever take the time to talk with a homeless person, and I'm not talking one of these people that are begging on the corner for, standing on the corner for money, like an
Uh,
actual homeless person, go go get some sub sandwiches and take them down and find a homeless person and give them a sub sandwich and ask them their story.
yeah.
Sometimes you just be simply amazed at what happens. Like I remember we took a trip to Montreal. It was me and my two military buddies, Ray and Bucket. We were just out walking around and we ran into these prostitutes and working on the side, working on the street. And we got to talk to them. And this lady, like, we thought she was like 45, 50 years old. She was 19.
Oh, dang.
19. But she talked about she got pregnant when she was 17. Her parents kicked her out. She didn't have anywhere else to go. She didn't graduate high school. She ended up, giving the baby up for adoption, and then
Jeez.
she just couldn't survive, so she turned to this. And she said it's only been a few years, she said, but it feels like an eternity. And she's like, I know I don't look my age, and it's being homeless and having to be out there or getting beat or whatever has prematurely aged her. And
Wow.
um some people can say, well, it was her fault or whatever, but people make mistakes, and you just don't know, like. And so she basically said she, in her way of putting it, fights for food and shelter and anything, and that's why she does it. She's uneducated, doesn't have any skills, and this is the only way she survives.
Yeah. It
So
makes it tough.
it was interesting. She had some other friends that were there, and interesting to hear their stories. A lot of them very similar. One lady, was working a job and um, got laid off, lost her house, had to claim bankruptcy, lost everything else. And then she, just she was doing a manual job, and then when that manual job was gone, she didn't have any other skills. Doesn't know how to do a resume. Didn't know any of that. So she kind of went out on the street, and it's again though one of those things is, do I think they could get help? Maybe, but
I
I
think
I don't
sometimes though
know.
people don't know where to go for help though.
Well, and
Like
being Canada, I don't know what they do up there anyway.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what resources or something. But this thing is, I don't know. They probably don't know either, and so
Yeah.
they just assume nobody's going to help them.
Yeah. I
So,
know
I mean,
like when I was going to say when I was living in North Carolina, I actually there was a guy who was living very close to me. Granted he had his own apartment and stuff, but he was just shy of being homeless. Like he had no job, he couldn't hold a job. He had a very bad infection on his foot. But I always came across him. We'd always cross each other's paths, and that's why I said I know this guy, and that we became friends. But this guy, the only reason he was not homeless was because his family, who lived out of state, was giving X amount of money to him to pay for this apartment that he had. But other than that, he had no way of taking care of his infection. He had no car, no way to get over there. He couldn't hold a job because of it. It was tough, for him, and that's been the closest I've ever said. Like I've
well,
ever really tried to help somebody in a homeless situation. But
and here's the thing is the vid, like before the vid happened,
hmm
um there's a significant, I don't know what the number exactly is, but I know it's fairly high. Like I'm thinking like 30% or so that live check to check.
oh yeah, oh
They
yeah,
get a check, they pay their rent, they pay their food, and then their next check, they pay whatever other bills they got, and then it just starts over the next month.
Yeah.
And they don't
Yeah.
have any savings, they don't have any of that. And then the
Yeah.
vid happened, and a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people were forced to stay home.
Yeah.
Some of these people weren't getting paid, so they had to collect unemployment. And then, but unemployment doesn't give you everything that you were making. It's only a
No.
percentage. And so when the end of the moratorium on evictions, there's a lot of people that I'm assuming that
Lost their
became
homes.
homeless.
Yeah.
That and to not really any fault of their own.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're working a McDonald's job, and next thing you know, McDonald's is closed, and now you don't have any money, and now you can't pay rent, and what are you gonna do? Like, it's a super unfortunate turn of events for people that is just sometimes beyond out of their control, and then they get stuck where they feel like they can't fix it, or don't know where to get the help, or just can't get that opportunity to get back on their feet.
Yeah.
I mean, because here's the thing is, I'm assuming that I'm just gonna say I'm assuming because I don't know this for a fact, but I'm just gonna assume that there probably in the 98% of folks don't want to be homeless.
I think so. I think that's probably a safe number to say. There's a few that know no different,
Right.
and are probably too used to it or that far gone. That's just their mindset now.
Well, and the other thing is once something, so this is the problem with like habits and drug addicts and stuff. Once something becomes the norm,
Exactly.
it is super hard to go to something else and change where you're at.
Change is tough. I mean, look at what everybody's the new year's coming, right? And what's the first thing everybody wants to do? Oh, I want to get in better shape. That's a change. And how long does it last? Not very long. Many people, they try to make a change. Being homeless has become normal for some, and having that change is hard. Like, how do they relate? How do they adjust to that? It's once you've had to, sleep and kind of even think about being like, are you really safe? I would say, when you're sleeping or in your house when you're homeless, is that really something that you can never forget? Can you ever sleep comfortably? It's a hard habit to get rid of.
And I think this is like for the military guys. Let's take us back to the veterans here. The military guys that end up in combat, that end up with PTSD, that come home and don't seek the help or don't realize that they have a severe enough case of PTSD that's going to affect them.
Yeah.
And next thing they know is it's been 6 months down the road and they realize, wow, this is really bad. I need to get help. But it's been 6 months that it's been normal for them to be in that mindset. And that becomes very, very, very difficult to correct or to change.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to be super careful when things, especially with tragic events, or like with like with the vid.
Yeah, there went that edit now.
Like with the vid, I'll beep it out. The depression.
Yep.
And that kind of thing can become normal, and then it's that much harder to get out.
Yeah.
And then one bad thing, one large medical bill, and next thing you know, you're homeless.
It piles up, and next thing you know, something big happens. Yeah.
So I'm glad to see the VA stepping up. It sucks that it took this long, but it's a step in the right direction. I hope to see more headlines around the country of the VA stepping up to help homeless veterans, at least giving them a safe place to be.
Yeah,
So,
that is good. It's a good thing.
so
I'm excited. Like that makes a lot more sense. It helps. I think it's a good thing this is happening. Giving them a safe place is a good thing. I'm gonna have to look around here in Utah and see if there's anything kind of, I don't know, just to see.
Just to see,
But
yeah.
just because I don't know if this even exists in Utah. I don't know. I know where a lot of the homeless are. I know where to go. You know, like if you ever said, "Hey, I want to go help the homeless. Where can I go to help them?" I could take you to 4 different places. You know, and be like, "This is where they are," and you know, and but yeah, I don't know if they have a set place for veterans. If they have a safe place for homeless in general. I don't know. I'm gonna kind of look around, see what that's about.
All right, so thanks everybody for checking this out. I know this is kind of a interesting, different,
Yeah.
dire topic, but people are doing good things out there. And like I said, don't just judge people simply because they're homeless, because you never know how they got there. Some people have very interesting stories, and if you ever have time to sit and ask somebody what their story is, you might be surprised.
Yeah.
Don't
Might
give
learn a
them
thing or two.
money. Don't give them money.
No, don't give them money.
Take them lunch. Oh, in fact, when we were in Montreal, those ladies that we had met, we ordered pizza on the curb. We had like 3 or 4 pizzas, and everybody was sitting around just eating, talking because it was interesting, and we wanted to do something to help them out. So
Nice.
but
That's the way to do it. Yeah, give them something they can use right then and there. Don't give them money. Usually doesn't go to what you think it will.
and if they don't want your food, then they don't want your help anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Don't take it offensively.
Yeah.
But be safe while you're out there too. Some of them like to get really close.
All right, everybody.
All right,
Thanks
everyone.
for checking us out. Don't forget, leave a comment, leave a like. It helps this video get seen. Post it on Facebook or whatever. But all right, much love, all.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye.